Hi, Tegan.
Hi, Tegan.
Ooh, that was pretty good. All right, so
Cray misses you.
1-4. Cray misses you. Okay, 1-4. Writing linear equations. We have to review from yesterday. Let's talk about slope for just a second. So, let's do the slope of. Do you have my points, Abigail? What are the points that I used this morning? Just so that I use the same ones. At the top, very, very top.
Yeah.
You see them?
Up 1/2.
Oh, right here.
Like the equation.
No, right here. These 2 points.
There's no point.
There's no points at the top of 1-4. 1-4. Oh, 1-3. At the top of 1-3. Go to the back side.
Oh. X2 is 1, and then XY is -3.
1, -3, and
-2, 7.
-2, 7. Okay, so what I want you to do first right now is find me the slope of these two, between those 2 points. How do you do it?
Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus Y1.
Okay, Y2 minus Y1, X2 minus X1. So just as review, X, Y. Which one is 1 and which one is 2?
7 is 2, -3 is 1.
2, 1, 2, 1, right? The first one, the second one. First one, second one. So do your Y2 minus Y1, X2 minus X1. I'll give you a second. Go. Go. Just to review, find the slope. Find the slope. Find the slope. Find the slope.
It's got it.
Find the slope. Okay.
What is this game? It is coming out. Yeah.
So I just had to do this.
No.
You watched it.
So then did
Find
I?
your slope. Find your slope. Find your slope. Find your slope.
It's M.
Alright. Okay, so Y2 minus Y1, X2 minus X1. We're going to solve this thing here. Your second Y, listen. Second Y is 7. First Y is
-3.
-3. 7 minus -3. We'll talk about that here in a second. Second X, -2 minus 1. So, minus negative becomes a positive. 7 plus 3 is 10. Okay, on the bottom,
-3.
-3. 10 over -3 is what your slope is. Kind of disgusting, but that's okay. Now, this morning, Josie, the foreign exchange student, she, instead of doing this as X1, Y1, she called this one X2, Y2. And this one X1, Y1. Does it make a difference?
No.
No, we switched those around yesterday. You should still get -10 over 3, 10 over -3, except she did this. She said, I didn't get 10, I got -10 over +3. Does that mean the same thing?
Yeah.
10 over -3, is that the same thing as -10 over +3?
Yeah.
Yes. What's another way of writing that? Yeah, negative out in front, 10 over 3. So all of those things mean the same thing. It doesn't matter where you put the negative as long as there's only one of them, right? A negative over a negative would turn the whole thing positive. So as long as you only have one negative, it doesn't matter where you put it. Top, bottom, out in front, doesn't matter, right? Okay? Okay, so that's a review of slopes. We're going to use that again later on. But writing linear equations, every linear equation that we write today is going to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. This is called slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Now, it is called that because this guy is the slope. This guy is the intercept, the y-intercept. Okay, so the m is the slope. We talked about that yesterday. M is the slope. B is the y-intercept. Okay, B is the y-intercept. So, in example 5, it says write an equation in slope-intercept form. I'm going to start by writing what it's supposed to look like. Y equals mx plus b. That's my equation in slope-intercept form. And what I need to do from here is to find whatever m is and find whatever b is. And m, you find first. Find first, and then you find second. Okay, I find that guy first, I find that guy second, I plop them in, and we have our equation, okay? So I am basing that off of this graph right here, right? Just wait. I'm basing it on that graph over there, and I'm looking at this graph, and I want to know the slope. They have a dot put right here, and they have a dot put right here. Do you see those two dots?
Yeah.
Okay? And I want to know the slope of that. Slope, when you're looking at the graph, you can do rise over run, right? Rise over run. So, from this point to this point, how much am I rising?
1.
Oh, it's negative.
And it's -1, because going left to right, you're going downhill. So you're rising a -1. You're going down 1 right here. How much am I running?
3, 4.
4. I am running 4. So my slope,
Wouldn't it be negative?
nope, because 4 is going to the right, and the numbers going to the right are positive. So it's -1 over +4, because you're going left to right. You're going down 1 and to the right 4. Right means positive.
It's the same thing, right?
It's 4 because you're going 4 over, right? Down 1 and you're
Yeah,
going 1, 2, 3, 4 over. Right? Rise over run. Going to the right 4. So, -1 over 4, that's my m. So that's really easy. Y equals, I just plop him in there. Instead of calling him m, I call him -1/4, and I need to find what b is. Okay?
It's
So,
-2.
now b is the y-intercept, okay? The
-2.
y-axis is the one that goes up and down, right? And intercept means where he intersects the
-2.
y-axis. So y is going up and down, and I want to see where he intersects.
Yeah.
He touches there, which is that?
-2.
-2. So I put -2 in for b, and I'm done, except,
Take the positive out.
yeah, plus -2 kind of looks weird. So a lot of times I'll just get rid of one, and a positive and a negative together make a negative. It still stays negative, so plus -2 stays as a -2, and then there's how I write my answer. Okay? Good? So your slope, find your slope of the 2 points, find your y-intercept, plop them into the equation. I can't talk. Plop them into the equation, and you're good to go. Now, they don't have you go the opposite direction, but I'm going to have you go the opposite direction. Let's do this. Let's say I give you the equation, y equals, let's say 1/2 x plus 3. Let's do that one. Y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Do you know how to go from the equation to the graph?
Yeah,
Can you
you
go
go
from
up
the graph?
3.
Okay. So where do you start here?
You plop it on 3.
So this guy I do first, this guy I do second, right? So the first thing that I do is I go to 3. 3 is the y-intercept. Watch this really quick, because I have people that do this all the time. 3 is the y-intercept. Every year I have people go over and try to put 3 on the x-intercept right here. They put their first dot there. This is x, not y. I want to go to 3 on the y-axis. So I go up to 3. 1, 2, 3. It's not over here. It's over here, up to 3. There's my first dot.
Up
Okay?
and over.
And then the slope tells me where I put my next point, right? From there, I go. This guy means up 1 and over 2. Up 1, over 2, right? I put a dot there. Up 1, over 2. Put a dot. Or I could go down 1 to the left 2. Put a dot, and there's my line, right? Now, what happens if instead, on accident, I went up 1 and I went over 2 this way?
It'd be negative.
Right? It would look like this. My line would look like this. How do I know that that's not right?
Because
It's going
negative.
downhill.
It's going downhill. My slope is positive, right? So I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to the left 2. I want to go to the right 2. Because then my slope is going uphill. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So can you go from the equation to the graph? Start at this number, and then this tells you where to go from there. Put your second dot and draw your line, yeah? Good? Can we do that? All right, so graph to equation or equation to graph, you should be able to do those, yes? Good? Tomorrow, what we're going to do in class tomorrow, after we do the rest of these notes, by the way, we'll go over homework tomorrow, but we're going to work on whiteboards. For all class period tomorrow. Graphing and doing stuff on whiteboards, okay? Just so
We'll
you
have
get,
homework or not?
you will not have homework tomorrow. You'll have some today. But you won't have it tomorrow.
But we're not finishing notes.
We're finishing notes right now. We're going to do it right now, but I'm just letting you know tomorrow we're going to be working on whiteboards.
Well,
Okay? So now we're not going to do point slope form, which is this guy. So cross out that table. I don't like him. Anytime your homework, listen to this, my Slater cheaters.
right.
Not me.
Cray's head whips right around because that applies to him, right?
It doesn't.
My Slater cheaters.
But not like
Whenever your book says point slope form, whenever your book says point slope form, you are not going to do point slope form. You are going to do slope intercept form. Because I don't like point slope form for right now. Okay? I don't like point slope form. Not for right now anyway. Not for right now. So we're going to do slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. That's slope-intercept form. Okay, so we're going to be using that form the entire way through this lesson. Not point-slope form. So if it says point-slope, don't use it. Okay, use slope-intercept form. All right, so example 6. We want to write an equation that goes through the point 6, negative 2, and has a slope of negative 4, okay? My equation is y equals mx plus b. And when I do that, I have to find a number to plug in for m and a number to plug in for b, right?
Negative
X
4.
and y stay the same. So negative 4 is what? M, that's the slope, right? It goes in that spot. Negative 4 goes in that spot. So I have y equals negative 4x plus b. Now I'm at this step, and I want to find what b is. How do I find what b is?
You go to 6. You sub them
No,
in.
we don't want to graph, Greg. We don't want to graph.
Oh, I thought they were
You gotta
graphics.
sub them
No.
in.
You gotta sub them in, right? I have an x and a y to plug in for x and y, and then I just have b, right? I can plug 6 and negative 2 in for x and y and just have b. Yeah? So, now, this is the important part though. This is where algebra kids mess up. They put 6 in for y and negative 2 in for x, because that's the order that they go, right? But which one is the y coordinate?
X is 6.
X is 6, negative 2 is y, so that has to go first. Negative 2 needs to go in the y spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's negative 2 goes here, 6 goes here. Negative 2 equals negative 4 times 6 plus b, yeah? Are we good?
Yeah.
Now I can solve for b, right? We've done this before, so what are you going to do first?
4 times 6.
4 times
Negative
6
4
is?
times 6 is negative 24.
Negative 24, and then what? Add the 24 over, plus 24 plus 24.
Negative 22.
B is
No, it's
positive 22, positive 22. Okay, am I done? That's my answer, 22? What were we trying to do? Right and equation.
Yeah, 22.
Right and equation. B,
So
22 is not my answer. What's my
It's
equation?
y equals
Y
negative
equals-
4x plus 22.
That's my equation, right? Y equals negative 4x plus 22. Now that I have negative 4 and 22, I'm going to put them in together, and we're good to go. Yes? Good? Perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, now they're going to do one step further. Here they gave you the slope, and then they give you a point to plug in. Now what do they do here? They don't give you the slope. Can
But
you
it's
find
easy
the
to
slope
find.
between those
Yes.
two? Yes, you can find the slope between those 2 points, right? So we're going to do y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. This is my first x, first y, second x, second y, yeah? So y2 minus y1. What's your y2?
Negative 3.
Negative 3 minus
Seven.
7 over
Negative, 3
Three.
minus negative 2.
3 minus negative 2. Or 3 plus 2, right? Negative 3 minus 7,
Negative 10.
negative 10. 3 plus 2,
5.
5. So that becomes really nice.
Negative half.
Negative 2, negative 2. So my equation that I'm trying to write, y equals mx plus b, what did we just find? Y equals mx plus b.
equals 2.
We found m. We just found this guy. So we're going to write out y equals negative 2x plus b. And how do I figure out what this guy is? Ooh,
Plug it
how do I
in.
figure out what that guy is?
It's negative.
Plug in one of these. So just like we did before, we can plug in one of these. Which one? How do I decide which one?
3, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter which one you plug in. You're going to get the correct answer whichever one you plug in. It doesn't matter. So if there's one that looks really nice, like if it doesn't have negatives in it and you want to use that one, that's great. Which one do you think is nicer here?
3.
3, negative 3? Sure, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's plug in. What's the y coordinate if we use this point?
Negative 3.
Negative 3 equals negative 2 times, what's the x? 3 plus b. Okay, we're solving for b now. Okay, so then what?
Negative 8. No?
No? What's negative 2 times 3?
Oh.
Do that first. Negative 6, okay? But then we add 6 over. What's negative 3 plus 6? b equals 3. Am I done?
No, you have to plug it in.
Now I have to plug it in. So my equation is y equals negative 2x plus b is 3. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of room. Running out of room, running out of room, running out of room. Are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay so far? Okay, now, part B, they really try to trick you with part B. I'm going to do part B over here in this little spot, okay? So we can have enough room. So this B guy is going right here, okay? We need to find the slope first. So this is X and Y and X and Y, yeah? X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So Y2 minus Y1. So Y2 is
6.
6 minus
-7.
-7. 6 minus -7 or 6 plus 7. We'll do that in a minute. And then on the bottom is 4
-4.
minus 4. So 6 plus 7 is
13.
13. 4 minus 4. Ooh, what happens when you take 13 divided by 0?
It's 0.
No, it's not 0.
1.
It is undefined. Friends don't let friends divide by 0. I have a poster up here that says friends don't let friends divide by 0. Okay, hold on just a second. I'll show you something. Right. Here we go. Hey Siri, what is 1 divided by 0?
The answer is somewhere between infinity, negative infinity, and undefined.
Okay, hold
It's
on.
the cookie
Hold on.
monster.
Hold on. Sit. Hey Siri, what is 0 divided by 0?
Imagine that you have 0 cookies, and you split them evenly among 0 friends. How many cookies does each person get? See, it doesn't make sense. And Cookie Monster is sad that there are no cookies. And you are sad that you have no friends.
So you cannot divide 0 by 0. So let's think about, instead, to write this equation, let's think about what he looks like on the graph, right? Okay, so here's my graph. The point 4, -7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and -7 down here, right? That's 4, -7. 4, 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to 6, right? And then I draw a line to connect them. So what does he look like? Straight up and down, right? So what's the equation of that line? What's the equation of that line?
None.
How do you write that equation? No matter what,
Up 1.
no matter what,
Up 1.
the x-coordinate is staying.
1.
What number are we going through on x?
1.
No matter what, the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate is
4.
4. The x is always 4. So x equals 4 is my line. Yeah? No matter what, the x-coordinate is 4. It's going through the x-axis. Okay, let me do one more for you, just because I know they're going to do this on the homework. So let's say I have this guy right here, and he's touching at -3. What is that guy?
-3.
Y equals -3, because the y-coordinate here is -3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? So, x equals 4, because it's cutting the x-axis. The x-coordinates all over here are 4, no matter what. The y-coordinates in the second one are all going to be -3 all the way across, okay? Now, last thing, we're going to talk about parallel versus perpendicular lines, okay? So, I'm going to use a separate sheet of paper because I'm running out of room. You don't necessarily have to write this down, okay? So, I'm going to use a separate sheet of paper just to show you what this looks like. So, here we go. Parallel, and perpendicular. Parallel, perpendicular. You don't necessarily have to write this down if you don't want to, okay? Parallel, perpendicular, woo. Show me with your arms what parallel lines look like. What do parallel lines look like? Okay, so I'm seeing this, or I'm seeing this, or Ashton's doing this, right? What happens with two parallel lines?
They never touch.
They never touch each other. They never touch each other. So let's talk about these two parallel lines. Let's talk about these two parallel lines. This guy and this guy, okay? Those are my two parallel lines, all right? Let's look at parallel lines. Let's say that from this point to this point, you're going up 4 and you're going over 3, which means the slope of this guy is 4 over 3. Does that make sense? Up 4 over 3, okay? Now, this bottom guy right here, will he go up 4 and over 3 also?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has to be the same slope. So his slope is also 4 over 3. So parallel lines will have the same slope, right? Okay? So if we write those two equations, watch it, yes, and a different y-intercept. So watch this. So let's say this guy right here is y equals 4 over 3, x plus, what do you think he touches right here? 2 maybe?
2, yeah.
That's his y-intercept. He's touching at 2. So plus 2, what about the bottom one? Y equals 4 over 3x. You think he's at -2, -2? So that's what those two equations would look like. And this tells you that they're parallel to each other. They have the same slope, yes? Same slope. Okay, what about perpendicular lines? What do perpendicular lines look like? Okay, perpendicular lines. When you like draw them or whatever, Okay, they are ones that intersect each other, but these two lines intersect each other and they are not perpendicular. Those are not perpendicular. When they intersect, they have to form a right angle. So here's what those look like. Okay, there's my little coordinate plane. Let's say I have this guy and this one, right? Those two guys, when they intersect each other, form a 90-degree angle. It's like a perfect box, right? Forms a 90-degree angle. Okay, so if this guy has a slope of 4/3, what will this guy's slope be?
3/4? No.
Okay,
Negative
3/4, but he's going downhill.
Negative.
Negative. So, perpendicular, their slopes are negative reciprocal. Reciprocal means you flip and then you make it negative. If it's already negative, you make it positive. That's what you do to perpendicular lines. Yes? Yes, yes? Okay. So, write that on the bottom of this paper right here if you have not already done so. That's one thing I do want you to write down right here. Put parallel lines, put same slope, and here put negative reciprocal. Reciprocal. Negative reciprocal. Same slope, negative reciprocal. Okay, so we said that 4/3 change to what when you do the negative reciprocal?
Negative.
Negative 3/4. Okay, what about if I have negative 1/2? What does that become?
1, 2.
Positive 2. Or 2/1, right? Which is just 2, right? So positive 2. So those are negative reciprocals of each other, right? If it's already negative, you make it positive. Okay, so let's answer this question right here. Example 8. Okay, they want my point to go through 5, -6. And this is the equation it gives to me. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through 5, -6 and is perpendicular to this line right here. Okay? So I'm going to go down. I'm going to write it on this sheet of paper. Try to find room on your sheet of paper because I'm running out of room. What was my original line again? Y equals -3/2x plus 7, right? I'm going to do both parallel and perpendicular because I know P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L. Parallel, perpendicular. I'm going to do both of them just because I know your homework assignment is going to do both of them, okay? So parallel and perpendicular, all right? My equation has to look like y equals mx plus b, right? Y equals mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. Okay? So, let's talk about the first equation that we have. Let's talk about our first one. -3/2x plus 7. What is the slope of that guy?
-3/2.
-3/2. So if I'm trying to find the slope of my parallel line, what does his slope have to be? It has to be -3/2. 3/2 x plus b. It has to be -3/2. It has to have the same slope if they're parallel, right? Okay. Now perpendicular. What does his slope have to be? What is this m going to be? Y equals positive 2/3, right? I make it negative or turn it positive if it's already negative and flip it. Okay? Now, hold on just a second. How do I find b then? You don't? You just leave it? How do you find b? Look at the problem. How do you find b? It tells you in the problem.
Put the things in it.
It's going through the point 5, -6, right here. 5, -6 is my point. So I'm going to plug 5, -6 in, yeah?
Yeah.
For what?
5 is
X and Y. 5 is X, -6 is Y. So -6 plus B. -3/2 times 5. I think -7.5. Am I right? Yeah, I am. I'm pretty sure. -7.5. 3/2 times 5 is -7.5. Okay, and then what? How do I find B?
Subtract.
You know, he's already minus, so
Add it.
add him over. Yep. Plus 7.5, plus 7.5. So what's 7.5 and a -6? 1.5, okay? So, am I done? No, write the equation. Y equals
-3/2
-3/2x
plus
plus
1.5.
1.5. There you go. Beautiful. Woo. Okay, now let's do this one over here. How do I find B in that spot?
Do the same thing.
Same thing, 5, negative 6. Negative 6 is going in for y. Okay? What's 2 over 3 times 5? 3.3. Check me, right? Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's 3.3. 10 over 3, which is 2 and 1/3. Minus 3.3, minus 3.3. Negative 9.3 is b.
And then you have
So y equals.
y equals 2 over 3x minus 9.3.
Okay, now, last question. Very, very important. Last question. This is my original function. Blah, 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 blah. Where did I use this 7? Where does the 7 go? 7 is the b in the original equation.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. Do me a favor. Anytime you're doing parallel and perpendicular, if they ask for parallel perpendicular, cross this guy out. You never, ever, 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 ever use him because he's going to have a different intercept when you're dealing with parallel lines, right? They don't have the same intercept. You don't even use him to find the other one, right? So cross him out. The only thing we need the original equation for is what?
Perpendicular.
What do we take away from the original equation? What do we use out of it? We use the slope. That's the only thing that we use. So cross out the other number. We don't care about him. Okay, good?
Yeah.
All right, that was a lot of information. Tomorrow we're going to do some whiteboards on this, so make sure you study up and are ready to go so whiteboards go really well tomorrow, okay? Do your homework.
I have a question on the homework.
I use the restroom.
Yeah.
Again?